back your memories bring back.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for actually spending your time, precious time, okay, on a Friday afternoon during your lunchtime to actually know more about, how does this PR and citizenship application works. So let's not waste time. Okay, we start straight, right? I believe everyone can see. So today's topic is how to be a step closer to becoming a Singapore PR or a Singapore citizen. Interesting topic, yeah? So some features that you need to know to make the session more effective and interactive. So today's session is not just about me talking. So I like participation. So feel free to use the chat options. Sometimes if I ask you a question, you can just answer me yes or no through using the chat option. And then there is this Q&A option as well. So feel free to let us know if you have any question, anything pertaining to Singapore immigration law, that you can actually input it. We will address it towards the end of the session. And you can see there's a raise hand, lower hand option as well. So if you're feeling a bit shy, you don't want people to see your name, you can raise the hand. I'll still be able to see. After you raise the hand, remember to just lower your head. If not, I'll see your hand throughout the entire session, right? Okay, so a bit information about who we are. So we are the immigration people. Basically, we are a private immigration consultancy firm. We specialize in handling Singapore permanent residency, citizenship application, and also work pass application. So today with me, I have a few more colleagues here with me. So Elena, can you wave?
Hi everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm Elena, the co-founder of the Immigration People. Nice to have you guys here today.
All right, and I have Ivy with me as well. Ivy.
Hi everyone, I'm Ivy. I'm one of the consultant with the Immigration People. Nice to have you guys today.
All right, great. So my name is Kay. So I'm also a director and co-founder of the Immigration People. So basically, we have collective experience of 15 years in this industry. Okay, combined experience, not just alone, right? I'm not that old, right? So how we are different is that we have knowledge because we used to work with ex-ICA officer before. So we have knowledge about how ICA works, right? And the mission of the company is to bring Singapore closer to our client through successful immigrations. How we can do this? We have proven and tested a method of profile angling, which we will use very highly personalized and customized approach in every case in order for us to help our client to put their best case forward in their application, be it PR or citizenship. So there must be a reason why you are here today. So you need to get ready to actually answer my question, right? There must be a reason why you guys are here today. Okay, so I would like to know what type of profile that I have today. So any S pass, employment pass, or PEP holder, or entry pass holder, or even dependent pass holder, can you either raise your hand or leave in the chat, please? Okay, so I see quite a number of people, raise hand. Let me take a look at it. Okay, yeah. So okay, Camille, Kevin, I have a few more, which is okay, EP, S pass, and PEP holders. Yeah, good. Next, already a PR, so probably looking to apply for citizen. Okay, great. I also see a few people. I think you guys are pretty shy to type in the chat, right? Okay, no worries. At least I know who you guys are, right? Okay, who, sensitive questions, who applied and gotten rejection before? I need to know. All right, let me take a look at it. Okay, so there are quite a number of you applied before and gotten rejections. Okay, good, right? Okay, Hassan say is an EP. Great. So next question. All right, rejected once. Don't be shy. It's fine. It's very common. I'll tell you why it's common later. Okay. So there are few people rejected ones. Okay. Okay. So let's try to guess. I need you to use the chat now. Can everyone guess like how many application filed per financial year for maybe PR applications? Just make a guess. Let me see. 10,000, 100,000, 5,000. 5,000? That's quite little. Yeah. Okay, someone answered it correctly actually. Let me see. But I don't have any gift for you. April answered it correctly. Okay. So per annum there are about 100,000 people filing the applications for PR application and 60,000 citizenship application filed. Want to take a guess on how many people approve? Oops. I hope you guys didn't see this. Yeah. How many approve? Anyone want to guess? Okay, let me take a look at the chat option. Oh, sneak peek. Oh yeah, I think someone saw already. Okay, good. That's a sneak peek. All right, so approximately 32,000 PR and 22,000 citizenship application approved. So if you use your calculator, you can roughly guess. It's about 30% of the people approved and 70% rejected. So for those who get rejection before, don't be sad. You are not the only one. You have 70% of the people who are with you. So unfortunately, you guys are not the 30%. Okay, you were the 70%. Okay, like I mentioned before. Okay, now this is a very important question. Okay, who loves Singapore? Please in the chat, let me know. For those who never raise hand, I assume you don't like Singapore. I'm going to kick you out from the webinar. No, I'm just kidding. No. Okay, okay. Everyone started raising hands. Scared to get kicked out from the webinar. All right, good. Maybe you guys would like to share why you love Singapore? Okay. I believe more often or not, it's because of education. It's a very safe country. Yeah, so next question I'm going to ask is, who have kids in international school? Because a lot of you are EP, PEP and all this. So I assume that, most of you who actually have EP and all this will have your kids, will have to send in international school, no choice, right? So quite a number of you. Now, let's take a look at the top 3 international school in Singapore, which is the UWC, everyone know, Tanglin Trust School, and Singapore American School. Okay, so if you see, right, because they have different prices depending on which category you're in, whether you're kindergarten, early childhood. But if you take a look, right, okay, for the Tanglin Trust School, the fee seems a bit lower. Why? Because it's per term and there are total 3 terms. So if you times 3, right, it's about the same, okay? Then the next one is UWC. So total cost is 36,000 to 40,000 a year. It's not a very cheap investment, yeah? Okay, but education is definitely very important. And in fact, right, for most of the clients that I've met, one of their main concerns is about international school fees, right? So next, right, I'm gonna invite, okay, my business partner, Elena, to actually speak more about this, right? Elena, please.
Thank you so much, Kay, for the very interactive introduction. So, as you know, COVID has actually affected so many of us, not just in Singapore, but also worldwide. And there is travel ban ongoing. This is why the travel and aviation industry is hit so badly. Let me give you a very realistic example. So I have a client recently who actually engaged us to apply long-term visit pass for his aged parents. And he is already a PR. Okay, sorry, am I choppy? Let me know if you cannot hear me properly because I think I'm experiencing a little bit of internet connection issues here. Okay, so about this time, he's really a PR. He wants to. Okay, give me a moment here. Sorry, let me. Okay, can you guys hear me properly?
Elena, I think you can try turning off your video. Yeah, so it won't be so choppy.
Okay, can you hear me clearly now? Okay, let me start on my video again, yeah? Thank you so much, guys, for... Okay. So let's resume. So from this client, right, he's really a PR, and his aged parents are actually back in his home country in Indonesia. So he wants to apply long-term visit pass for them, but he's unable to do so now because Singapore has actually stopped entry to all new foreigners who want to enter Singapore. Why? Because we don't want to import more new, positive cases and increase our overall spread. So this is why, right, for locals, for citizens, PRs, of course, Singapore has no choice. This is our home. It's essential for our own people to come home. But if you are a foreigner without a pass, okay, the government will see that it's not required for you to come to Singapore now. You're not important right now. So whether you are a family member of an existing work pass holder or PR or a long-term visit pass holder, the government will not issue you any entry. So this is why, for this period, for the past 2 to 3 months, we have clients who are actually separated for their family members and they cannot meet at all. And if you were to leave Singapore as a PR, or citizen, you enter into Singapore again, you have to serve a 14-day stay-home notice. And for the Singapore government, we are very strict, okay, in terms of anyone who breached the stay-home notice order. So next slide, please, Kate. Thank you. And as you know, right now there are people experiencing, layoffs or pay cuts. Okay, but the rental and the expenses at times will still remain. Especially if you're a foreigner, you are not eligible for any government grants and subsidies during this period. Because same for every other country, we keep a lookout for our own people first. So I have a couple of clients, right, who actually suffered from a pay cut from their company, but they have no choice. They have to keep on to this employment because nowhere else is hiring. But for their own rental, they still have to pay $2,000 to $3,000 every month to rent a HDB or a condominium. Okay, and if you are, let's say if you actually convert to a PR, you are actually entitled to purchase public housings. Okay, you can actually plan for your long-term stay without having to rent properties for the rest of your life, and you can even use your CPF money to actually offset the down payment and initial deposit. So for those who are looking at, staying in Singapore for more than 5 years, definitely now is a good time to consider applying for PR. So let us take a look at what is the current immigration landscape. Oh, is the government still issuing out PRs during this COVID-19 period? So as many have already known, the government actually reduced the number of new PRs and citizens issued from 2008 onwards. This is why you probably have heard so many rejection cases among your friends, your peers, or even yourself who have experienced a rejection. So more than 50% of the quota has reduced from 2009 onwards. And like what Kay mentioned, the current quota actually keeps at 33,000 for PRs and 23,000 for new citizens. How we know? Because this is a public information released by ICA. So let us take a look at the graph that shows how the quota for PR and citizenship actually fluctuated over the past 10 years. But what's heartening to see is that from 2015 onwards, as you can see from the chart here on the slide, okay, that the number has increased, from between 700 to 1,000 new PRs and citizens issued on a yearly basis. I'm so sorry for the background noise because of the area where I'm staying. There's actually military planes flying over every now and then. So please bear with it for a while. It will be over very soon. Okay. So why there will be no reduce in the quota for new PRs and citizens is because the government aims to hit 6.9 million for population size by 2030. This is in order for Singapore to keep up with the rest of the world. So while there is COVID, while there is going to be an upcoming recession, there's going to be pay cut, but it will not affect the existing work pass holders or existing PRs who are already staying in Singapore, because the government will still want to convert you guys to locals so that we can hit our goal by 2030. So next slide, please. All right. So now we know that, rest assured, the government is still giving out PRs and citizenships. Okay, then why do we need to engage an agency or immigration consultant to help you with our applications? We can file the application to the ICA directly, right? Then there's 101 reasons as to why an application gets rejected. Okay, so let me share with you the most commonly mistakes we see in our own clients' cases. Because majority of our clients, when they come to us, right, they are people who have been rejected before. Okay, like some of you here today. So if you have rejected before, as you know, I say do not share the rejection reason. So you may be reapplying with the same mistakes made in your first application that caused a rejection.
Elena, sorry, Elena, you're a bit choppy. Elena, you're choppy.
Okay, can you guys hear me clearly now?
Elena, yeah.
Okay, I paused the video.
No, we can't hear you. Don't worry.
Sorry, okay, in this case, would you like to take over?
Okay, yeah, I think it's better for you to just keep the video off. Yep.
Okay. So, thank you so much. So, okay, guys, sorry, you have to bear with, just looking at my static picture as I speak, yeah. So, okay, some of the most common mistakes we see in our client's application is, of course, errors in your own application forms. Okay, not because you don't know how to fill in the form, or not because you are filling it, on mistake by purpose, but most of the time, people fill in, mistakes are made without the applicants knowing themselves, because you are not aware of the government's reviewing standards. And the government is very finicky when it comes to paperwork. So your application can be very easily rejected if any of your documents, are incomplete or do not meet the ICA's guidelines. Okay, am I still choppy? Is it okay if I continue? So sorry about this.
Oh, I can hear you well, Elena.
Thank you so much. Because on my side, it sounds a bit choppy, just to double confirm. Yeah, and of course, a lot of our clients, they actually are afraid of applying, or they get disheartened because of their friends and the people around them who gets rejected. But always remember, every application is different. No, there's no two profiles in this world that are the same. Okay, so you always stand a good chance, but it depends on how you actually present the paperwork to ICA. As you know now, it's all online applications. There will be no interview. You will not be speaking to an ICA officer. So the only way for the government to assess, your commitment, your sincerity, and whether you are a good fit to Singapore society is through the documents that you submit. This is why, like what Kay mentioned during the start, it's very important to know the right angle to approach for your application, because you're not competing with 100 people. There are 100,000 people who's applying, and most likely thousands of the other candidates, they fall into the same category as you within the same industry, age group, pay scale, etc. This is why it's very important for us to ensure that it is error-free when it comes to paperwork at least. Okay, and let's take a look at how we can actually enhance the chances with the additional supporting documents that the government will assess during a PR evaluation process. So let me pass this on to Kay to talk to you about the top 10 influencing factors for a PR or citizenship application.
Thank you, Elena, for this. Okay, so sorry about the connections, right? So let me know if, let's say, you guys can't hear me clearly. So this is a very important slide, right? Okay, so I need your undivided attention in this. Okay, so this is talking about what are the top influencing factors affecting both your PR and citizenship applications. Now, one thing you have to take note is, what someone always asks me, what is the most important thing? Is age the most important things? Is the salary the most important thing? For your information, government are using a holistic approach. They're going to look at all these factors when they're evaluating your PR and citizenship application. Let's talk about age, okay? So just for your information, we have someone 63 years old after 20 years stay in Singapore and making his very first attempt, and he got his PR approved. Why is that so? Although, right, in terms of period of contribution, he left very, short time to contribute to Singapore. But the rest of the factors, right, he's actually very good at it. He's actually a CEO of a big MNC company, so no problem in terms of economic contributions. Of course, a lot of achievement. That this is the reason why he's a CEO. So a bad profile, I would say, you did not check all the boxes. A majority of the boxes that you're unable to fulfill. You're 63 years old, but you still earn $3,000 with 30 years of working experience. You're just stagnant. There's no progression in your career. So all this, right, is actually a bad profile. Okay. Now, the next one I'm gonna talk to, okay, is family ties. Okay. So this is very important. You might have heard that you have some friends here. They are holding S pass and they're alone here. Their family member are in their home country. Okay, and then they're applying excluding their family member. For your information, if you apply like this, right, I will say your chances of being approved is very, very low. Okay, why is it so? Is because ICA, right, would prefer everyone applying together to maintain a very close family ties. I do have someone who have extremely good profile, but he's excluding his son, okay, in the application because he doesn't want his son to commit to national service, and he eventually got his PR rejected. So, of course, right, that being said also, if let's say you have relatives here, okay, I'm not sure if anyone here have relatives staying very close with you, your aunt, uncle, cousins is also a local who's already obtained PR and citizenship. Can I see you in the chat, or you can actually raise hand as well? In the chat, please. Oh, there are some of you, right? Okay, so let me see. Sorry, I can't really see. Just give me a second. You're getting softer. Is it now? Yeah. So let me see who's the one who raised hand. Okay. So for those who raised hand, Elena. Okay, maybe I use Elena, not my partner Elena. Elena, can I ask, right, in the chat, right? Can you let me know? Did you actually include this information in your application? Do you think ICA know that you have relatives here in Singapore? Yeah, I can assure you, right, one of the common mistake is a lot of people have certain factors, have certain things, but they are unaware that it is very useful for their application. So that's why they did not actually showcase this. So for your information, right, family ties, if let's say you're alone here, compare with another candidate alone, although maybe single, but aunt, uncle, and cousin are all here. If the same thing happened to these two candidates, of course, the one who have relatives will have a lower tendency of moving back to their country because he will have all the support he needs, right? Okay, so so this is the importance of having a close family ties of kinship in Singapore. The next one is industry requirements. For your information, ICA does segregate the quota according to which industry you are in. Okay, now, if let's say right now you are in maybe fintech, cybersecurity, okay, or maybe IT industry, technology industry, you actually stand a better chance to get approved. So I saw like a few of you, Kevin, Elena, all are in, and a few more are in the popular industry. Okay, so because government are moving towards being a smart nation. If let's say you are in this field industry, you stand a better chance. You probably need to just be within the top 30% within your quota, top 30% candidates, then you get approved. But if let's say you're in manufacturing, or maybe service industry whereby we know that, it is not very popular right now, you probably need to squeeze yourself to be the top 3 to 5%, then you get approval. But to conclude, right, okay, every industry, there are definitely quota available, but how many quota, how much is the quota? This information is not revealed to the public because we do not practice this, point system like some of the country like Australian or Canadian PR. Okay, so what we are trying to help our candidate is we try to push our candidate to be the top 5%, 5 to 10% within their quota. If quota is available, they will get picked, right? Now, the next one I'm going to talk about social integration. This is a common gap that a lot of my clients, they have not done anything to showcase that they have been integrating, they have tried to integrate it with the communities and the society in Singapore. Now, you might have heard that you have some Malaysian Chinese friends. It's so easy for them to get PR or citizenship approved. Why is that so? Like people like me, yeah, okay? I'm from Malaysia, actually. You'll know more later, okay? So why is that so? Is because, okay, we are very similar in terms of culture, language. It's very easy for a Malaysian to integrate here. But other than that, okay, you really have to work to show that you have tried. what are the suggestions I can give it to you is through volunteering works, or maybe you you join some, social causes club. So all this, right, can show that you actually make effort to trying to integrate to Singapore. So this is what I can suggest you. Of course, right, when I talk about this, okay, there are so many of you here today. I do not know your profile personally, so it's very important. Okay, later I'll share with you. We need a one-to-one consultation session so that we understand what you have and what you don't have, and then we will advise you. We give you some suggestion on which area you can improve on to actually stand a better chance in getting your application approved. Now, the next one is property investment. Okay, of course, being an expat, right, you have to pay additional stamp duty. Okay, it's very, very expensive. Okay, of course, I'm not going to ask you to buy a property. That's very extreme. But if, let's say, right, you have budgets you can pay for this additional stamp duty, please go ahead, because it is a very good vehicle for you to show that, you're very committed. You already have a house here, that you're going to settle down permanently here with your family. So property investment, right? Don't worry if you do not have this, okay? We try to make up with the rest of the factors, okay? Now, insurance. A lot of you might have insurance, but I know that all of you do not know that it's very relevant to your application. So most of you do not, you're not aware, so you actually did not showcase in your past attempt. So why is insurance so important? Ultimately, ICA do not like liability. They would prefer someone who's already well covered, okay? Because the moment you get your blue IC, your PR card, if anything were to happen to you, government have to subsidize you. They subsidize you in so many things. Right now, job support scheme only for local employees. There are so many support for local, okay? So if, let's say, right, you have insurance, personal insurance, I'm not talking about company insurance, it does showcase that you have long-term plan in Singapore. For people who only have planned to stay here for a few years, they are definitely not going to commit to buying any insurance in Singapore. Yeah. Right. Now, the next one is endorsement. Okay. Imagine today, right? Okay. You file an application. It comes with 3 to 4 recommendation letter from different race. Okay. It does show that you are pretty much integrated, that you have a group of local colleagues here, some friends, Malay friends, Chinese friends, Indian colleague, who are very supportive of your application. They're willing to endorse to your good character. So actually endorsement, right, it does make a difference in your applications. Okay, so at the immigration people, what we do is that we're going to point you to the right direction, who you need to approach to get the endorsement. In fact, we are going to craft the draft testimonials and send it to you, right? The next one is unique talents. I'm not going to speak much because most of the clients that I met, they do not have anything particular that we can showcase. We are talking about something, if, let's say, you're very competitive, that you can represent Singapore national team. Personally, I do have a friend who get his passport just because he's really good in badminton, okay? And he's right now in the Singapore national team, right? The next one is financial investment. It's somehow linked with the insurance as well, okay? So are you those candidates who combine income every month, household income 20,000, but out of 20,000, majority of your money you put back to your home country? You have a few property there, but in Singapore, you literally have nothing. Most of your money just sit in a bank account. It's very liquid, it's cash. You can withdraw anytime. You have no commitment here, right? So what we do with our clients is that when you come to our one-to-one sessions, okay, we will take a look at what are the investment that you already have. If you do not have anything, we will suggest you what to invest. Of course, we are not a financial advisor. We can only tell you in ICA perspective what they would like to see. Okay, and then you have to talk to your financial advisor regarding the financial investment. I'm not sure if anyone here has SRS account. SRS stands for Supplementary Retirement Scheme. Does any one of you have? Okay, I know that some of you have been asking questions. Okay, Elena will actually, copy and paste, and then we're gonna answer it towards the end. Kevin, good. Kevin have SRS accounts. It's very good actually. SRS account is something like CPF. Okay, it's a retirement scheme. So it does showcase your long-term plan in Singapore. If you have SRS account, you're supposed to, let ICA knows about it. Now, the next one is educational level. I saw a majority of you holding EP. Okay, so you have at least tertiary education, you have already checked the box. Okay, at least a bachelor, you're good enough. Okay, for those who are not highly educated, we have helped people who are not highly educated to still be able to get their PR. Okay, so what we do is we will encourage our clients to actually do trainings, to actually upgrade their knowledge. The next one is professional achievement. Okay, now professional achievement is very important. In fact, right, for those of you who hold a work pass, you're applying under the PTS scheme. So you're going to fill out the Form 4A. If you go and take a look at your Form 4A, the title is Application for PTS Scheme, Professional, Technical Personnel and Skilled Worker Scheme. So what is very important, it's in the title itself. Your skill set, your professional achievements. So today, if you file the application just by putting in what ICA asks, passport, birth cert, marriage cert, edu cert, do you think ICA knows about your professional achievement? Actually, they do not know. In fact, right, the 3,500 words in the Form 4A, majority of my clients who applied themselves, they will put NA not applicable. Yeah, so that's very bad. Okay. So in the immigration people, we will customize a cover letter and we will showcase all your professional achievements. The next one is economic contribution. Okay, for your information, it is a lot of people think salary is the most important thing. It is actually not. If let's say your salary, combined household salary more than $12,000, you're actually at the top level. Of course, okay, you must at least have $6,000 household income, because if you take a look at MOM requirements, you must have $6,000 in order for you to be eligible for dependent pass. So the government thinks that only by earning $6,000 you can afford to raise a family here. So this is a minimum requirement. Okay, now all the question we'll answer, right? Okay, so we'll answer later. So this is a common myth. Just by talking to you about the top influencing factors earlier, you will know that this is not true. First, you definitely heard before, Singapore government prefers son over daughter. Why? Because son can go national service, daughter cannot. Okay, for your information, I have so many clients only have daughter without son. They still can get their PR approved. Of course, right, today, if you're talking about, you have two identical profile. Everything is the same. Age, length of stay, industry, everything is the same. But the only difference between these two family is one have son, another one have daughter. Then, the family with the son will probably get approved if let's say there's only one quota left. Okay, so don't worry about having daughters. Okay, so you will get approved for your PR by luck. Okay, not true, because like I mentioned to you previously, all the factors influencing PR application. This is what are the government looking at, all the criteria, right? So what we're trying to help our client is to try to check as many boxes as possible. Some of the boxes we can't change. I can't travel back to time and become younger, right? So some of the factors we can't change, but some of the factors we can definitely work hand in hand. We'll guide you on what you can change to actually improve your chances. Next one, the more you pay for your taxes, the higher your chances, and your salary determines approval. Not true. I already mentioned to you earlier, it's only one of the influencing factors. Next one, if your rejection letter does not mention about reapplying after this many years, means you do not stand a chance anymore. Not true. For your information, ICA does have a few templates, okay, that just on a rotation basis. They just send out different templates. Your rejection letter does not say anything about your application. It does not mean anything, all right? Now, the last one, you will definitely get rejected in your first application, as the government determines your sincerity through the number of attempts you make. Not true as well, because majority of the clients, okay, that got approval are those who making their very first attempt. Actually, your best chance is your first attempt, because you do not have a tainted record with ICA. ICA is more than happy to actually study those fresh application compared with those multiple rejections. Okay, so the next one, right? How do we help you? Okay, so Elena, do you want to give it a shot? I'm not sure, is there any more aeroplane flying there?
No, it's quiet for now, but I don't know, for some reason, every time when I start, it's my turn to present, right? The plane starts to fly over. Yeah, so actually, So yeah, Kay has actually shared so much on the top influencing factors, and all this information, they are not readily available, online or in public. As you know, ICA's website, they only give you the very basic documents checklist as requesting for your passport, birth certificate. So all this, how do it actually showcase your integration efforts, how to showcase your commitment? It doesn't. So we help is we let you know that all these documents will be managed by us, and we will file the application on your behalf. So we know exactly what is the angle to strategize your application, what are the documents to submit, whether it's compulsory or supporting. All right. But before we do all this for you, we always have this one-to-one consultation that was mentioned several times throughout the session. Why? Because no two profiles are the same. And, it's very difficult to find a perfect profile as well. Like all the influencing factors, is so far, over my 6 years of immigration experience, I have seldom came across a client, okay, who have all the departments checked for the top influencing factors. Why? Because nobody is perfect. But always we have something to make up for the lack of certain departments. We have our own strengths and merits. This is why we know how to actually emphasize on the strengths for you and mitigate any weaknesses that is within our control. Okay, so all the applications, they are custom made, and we ensure that you have more than just one person handling your case. You don't. Our consultants here is our relationship manager, is your main point of contact. So we understand that the first contact that you come across, that you come in touch with, you will be most comfortable with this consultant. Imagine I'm the one speaking to you right now. I evaluated your case. You signed up because of me. But after you sign up, imagine, you don't see me anymore. I tell you to, contact my back-end staff. He or she will handle your application for you. How comfortable is that? Right? So we ensure that, if I'm the first person who you met with, who actually consulted on your application, you can be assured that I will be here with you to handhold you all the way until you receive the outcome of your application. And during the processing time, which is 6 months to 2 years, you can come to me anytime if you have any questions or change in your profile. So this is how dedicated our support is for our clients. And more than me, I have also 2 other members within our team who will come and assist you in terms of paperwork, as well as the drafting of all the immigration letters to ICA. All right, so we move on to the next one. What is the difference between us, and the other companies? If you do a quick Google search, if this is not your first time applying for PR and you have done some research on your own, you probably have also seen advertisements, okay, from other, immigration firms or agencies or accounting firms, law firms, who have actually advertised on their immigration service. So what is so different between us and the rest? First of all, okay, we do not quote you based on the income that you earn. If you have been to consultations with other companies before, you will be surprised that you can be quoted at $5,000, $7,000, $8,000. I have a client whom I rejected the case before. I did not want to accept because his profile is very weak. Okay, and I told him that unless you can change this certain aspect of a profile, I don't think we can look at an approval. Okay, it's highly unlikely that your application will be rejected. And he actually is very appreciative because the previous firm that he went for consultation to, they actually quoted him $7,000 and promised him a 98% success rate. But we know we have seen more than 1,000 cases before. So we know that for certain profiles, the chances are very wrestling, and we don't want to waste your time and effort. So this is how we are as upfront as possible to you, because we have your best interest at heart. Okay, and like I mentioned earlier, that's linked to what I have said. Okay, no sales kit, no pushy sales tactics. If you have consulted with either me, Kay, or Ivy before, you will know that we will never rush you or threaten you to actually sign up with us on the spot. We understand how PR or citizenship is a very big decision to make, and it may take more than you to come to the decision itself. You may need to discuss with your wife. You may need to discuss with your parents back at home. They need to know that you are changing your status. They need to know that you are changing your passport. So this is why we never ever push our clients to actually engage us on the spot or give extreme discounts just to seal the deal. Okay? We only want to work with clients who are committed and passionate about Singapore, because it doesn't take one hand to clap. Okay, it always takes 2 hands to clap. So let's move on to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, to share with you how we have actually been trying to approach our clients and prospects differently. Okay, we understand that information, it's very important to make an informed decision. This is why we host webinars like this. But before COVID, we actually hold a lot of lunch talks, as you can see from this slide, lunch talks and seminars for free, giving out free advice and tips before you even come down for a free consultation, before you even pay us to help you with your application. So we are very transparent with our service and with the advice that we can offer you. So if you are curious about what our clients say about us, of course, you can go to our Google review page, our Facebook, to see some of the, our clients who left, who shared the feedback and experience, they had working with us. So let us move on to one or so. This is our Facebook review page, so you can actually see them as well. So maybe we can move on to...
Yeah, I would personally like to share some of the cases, of course, okay? If you see the top left, right, okay, this is my client. So 12 years in Singapore and gotten 7 rejections, okay? So we have helped a lot of clients like this to actually get approval, okay? So this one, right, you can actually, take a look at our Google review as well, okay, to actually see what our clients say about us. We have a testimonials video, okay? So I'm going to off my video so that you can actually get a better connection to watch this. Hey, so congratulations once again for getting your PR status.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I understand that previously you applied twice and gotten rejections. So on the 3rd attempt, so under my advice, so you successfully obtained your Singapore PR status. So maybe can you share what is the difference between the first 2 attempts and the 3rd attempt, and the entire experience working with me in your PR applications?
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to share that. Well, first of all, thank you so much for all the help and guidance. I think the main difference between the current attempt versus the first 2 times when I applied myself was basically I just thought that providing all the documents which were requested by ICA would have been enough, which clearly it was not, as it got rejected both times. And I think working with you and the rest of your team, it was really amazing how you guided me and the whole family through basically the process of how to make the best case to ICA, looking at my profile, our profile, what were the weaknesses versus what was required to make a strong case. And then not only highlighting those, but also guiding us in how we can actually make up for those gaps, whether it was trying to show how involved we are in the Singaporean society, working on some of the documentation like letters and testimonials, and helping highlight the strong aspects from professional and personal side of our profile. And I think it was really amazing working with you guys because you were absolutely available for any queries we had throughout the process, whether it was documentation, application, submission, or even after the application was submitted. So I really appreciate that. And I think finally it was great. Even once we got the result, you guided us through how to complete the formalities and eventually go and get that long-awaited blue IC. So yeah, thank you so much for all the help and guidance.
Now, so, that's what our clients say about us. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, now, this is just a personal sharing. Okay, why am I here today? Why am I in this industry? Okay, I was once you, like I mentioned. Okay, so approximately 8.5 years ago, I came to Singapore. I was an EP holder. Okay, and 8 years later, actually, I found my PR application a bit late because I have no one guided me, right? So I thought like I have to wait until you cross 5 years mark, then you apply for PR. So I'm a PR for not very long, right? Okay, so I was once I was a EP. So right now I have happily settled down in Singapore. I'm a PR, okay, and then I'm running my own immigration company. So what I want to do is I want to help people like you guys to actually achieve your Singapore immigration dream, to actually make Singapore your permanent home. So this is my personal story. So I'm in this industry for about 4 years, okay, close to 4 years, and I've personally helped more than 500 applications and assisted many people from different background and different nationality to get PR. So if you have time, you can go up to my Facebook, my LinkedIn to actually check out more about myself, okay? Now, next one, okay, it's about my partner, okay, Elena. Elena, you there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you so much, Kay. So yes, while I'm not a foreigner myself, I'm actually born Singaporean, but actually a close, loved one of mine is a foreigner. My mom. My mom herself actually came to Singapore to work. Of course, before me in her 20s, and back then, times were hard in her own country, Malaysia. So this is why she actually had to come to Singapore, and she took up two jobs. I remember she telling me that she took up two jobs, and of course, she only became a PR after marrying my dad because she was holding to a work permit. She wasn't allowed to apply on her own. So shortly after having me and marrying my dad, she actually became a PR under his sponsorship. So she actually remained as a as a PR for many, many years. But then, right, she sort of started to have the thoughts to apply for PR after her friends around her start to give up their own citizenship. My mom is actually from Malaysia. So all her Malaysian friends who married to Singaporeans, okay, actually gave up their own citizenship and took up Singapore passport. So they keep urging my mom to go apply. And I remember back then I was in primary school. My mom couldn't speak English. It's not her first language. So she actually engaged the help of an agency to help her manage the documents, like fill up the very long and tedious application form and, compile all the documents for her. Back then it's still slightly easier. And my dad isn't the best person when it comes to handling paperwork. So she actually paid the agency to file the application for her. After 1 year, she got her Singapore passport. And I can say that she's enjoying it. Why? Because my mom actually have a pre-existing medical condition. She had to take medication every single day, okay, for the rest of her life because of her high cholesterol. And every month, right, until now, every month she has to go to the polyclinic to take her medication for the next 30 days. And how much is she paying? I can tell you that she's paying close to $0. Why? Because as a citizen, she gets the most subsidies. So even though as a PR you can get subsidized hospitalization and medical bills, all right, but citizen you get even more so. So her bills is really very heavily subsidized in the first place. And with MediSave, she actually paid at most, $10. But I would say most of the time I see her paying close to $0 because this is how supportive the government is to its citizens. So I see the importance of having citizenship. Okay, and this is why, like Kay, we have the same vision and I would say passion about this industry. So this is why we understand how important it is and how you foreigners feel, especially if you are working in Singapore abroad from your family members and want to settle down here permanently. So you are one step closer to realizing your residency dream with us. Okay, continuing. So the type of clients that Tip wants to work with, like Kay mentioned earlier, we are a boutique immigration firm. So if you just see yourself staying in Singapore for 2 years, then you want to go back to your home country and start out your own business, you don't intend to stay here for long, then probably, this is not the right investment or right place for you. We want people who see Singapore as their home, okay, wants to sink their roots here, ready to commit. And again, we as an immigration firm, although we can help you realize your dreams by, giving you the necessary advice and helping you with the paperwork, but we are not Hogwarts. We cannot perform magic, and we need the cooperation from your side as well. Okay, I have clients who, after engaging our services, ask, "Oh, can you do the volunteer work on my behalf? Can you do the integration on my behalf?" But I will always ask them, "Is this your PR or my PR?" So it's very important, that you see the same, you share the same passion about your PR before we can actually help you. Okay, you have anything to share about the type of clients?
Just now we mentioned a few times, we are a boutique firm, so we do not do mass market. We are quite selective with the clients that we want to work with. Especially the last one, family oriented. There are some people who are excluding someone in application. So we know that with our years of experience, this type of profile, right, will never get approved. So we also don't want to do this kind of cases, right? And I do have some client who attended the consultation with me, and he have a really shock he is very shocked, and he said that, oh, I have no idea that it requires so much work. You know what? I'm not gonna apply. So this happened, yeah, okay. So it's very important that you actually do a one-to-one sessions with us. Now we have 10 minutes for any question and answer. We'll be slowly answering. In the meantime, right? Okay, you can actually, put in your information at www.tip.com.sg. You can take our in-house test, okay, to evaluate your chances, and we will actually reach out to you to actually conduct this one-to-one consultation. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the questions that we have.
All right, let me share with you the first question we have from Elena. So not me, but Miss Elena, who's one of the attendees. So regarding local endorsements, is there a field in the online application to submit that? So actually, ICA is not very open about submitting additional documents. Why? Because the public do not have information to what are the documents that can really lend weight to your application. This is why they do want to open it up to public and receive documents that's irrelevant to your profile. Okay, but our immigration documents controller, they have the experience, they have worked with ICA before. They know that supporting documents that's relevant to your profile will definitely be considered. This is why we actually, know exactly where are the fields to actually attach your additional documents to and submit it as part of your application package for ICA's consideration. This question actually can be joined together with another question, okay, that is how to present my own cover letter if it's not required by submission system. So basically, this is very similar. Okay, for all additional supporting documents, we will assist you to upload. Okay, from Will, there's a feedback that is a little bit choppy and cannot hear. Let me know if I can continue. If not, I will get Kay to actually assist me to address the questions.
Yeah, I think you're a bit choppy. Okay, so can you guys hear me instead? All right, good. So, sorry, Elena, the question that you was answering just now is
upload of additional supporting documents on ICA system, but it's not openly requested.
Okay, so one thing is that you have to understand, right? If today ICA, okay, actually put up like, oh, you can actually submit resume and all this additional document, you can write a cover letter, everyone is going to apply using the same tactic, okay, and they will overwhelm with a lot more documentation. This is not what ICA wants, okay. So ICA only put up all this basic documentation because they're trying to avoid this, but it does not mean that you cannot submit any additional documents. We have helped a lot of candidates. In fact, right, we are very transparent. Some company, they don't allow you to sit in to see how we file the additional documents, but we are extremely transparent. Okay, so maybe I can go to the next questions. Okay, so Willie asks, how do I know which are the most preferred industry? Okay, and its respective quotas, right? And someone asked, what about automation? Automation, of course, right? We know it's, especially right now, okay, we can find robots that look like a dog in the park. So this is definitely an area that the government looking at. If you are in this industry, I would say that, you actually stand a better chance. How do you know which one? When you take a look at the news, okay, you can roughly have an idea. Right now, we also know that agriculture is one of the popular industry right now because we are trying to be self-sufficient. We don't want to rely on Malaysia to actually import vegetable to us. What if this kind of thing happen again, right? Okay, sorry, I moved to here. Okay, so next one, and respective quota, like I mentioned to you, we do not practice some of the country, like we are very transparent. Okay, this quota information is not available to the public. So since that we cannot control the quota, so what we are trying to do is, especially if you know that you are in the industry which is very, very competitive. I give you an example, Indian in IT industry, it's very competitive. Then you know that I cannot just submit my passport, birth cert, just the core documentation. You need to make your profile more outstanding, okay? So let me see what is the next questions regarding local endorsement. Is there a field? Okay, yeah, like I mentioned to you, there are definitely a way that you can actually put up all these additional documents, right? Okay, so Ivy, are you there, Ivy? Okay, sorry, no worries.
No
How long
problem.
does ICA process? Yeah, how long does ICA process a PR application from submission to outcome? What has been the fastest and what has been the longest? Okay, pretty interesting. I have helped someone 3.5 months to actually get PR approved. Malaysian Chinese, extremely good profile. Okay, so Malaysian is because the quota is always available for Malaysian Chinese, so that's why it will take a shorter time. Longest 2 years and approve. Okay. Now, right now, right, we are going to expect more delay in terms of the processing on ICA side. In fact, right, some of the people who have their profile submitted maybe more than 6 months, okay, you will be receiving a letter from ICA saying that you are going to expect delay due to all these COVID-19 situations. So the quota is still there, okay. Indeed, it's a very good time to file because right now, right, we have seen a drastic drop in the number of applications, okay. A lot of people losing their job, stranded overseas. So a lot of people are not filing. So when you take this opportunity to file, okay, so you will not be, at the backlog of ICA because they are solely going to approve after the entire situation become better. So the next is with the current economy situations for 2020, do you think the number of PR will be reduced? I think I just briefly speak about it, previously that every year we have seen that it has been a very, very long time that ICA trying to approve 30 to 32,000. Why is that so? Is because we still want to achieve, okay, our target population. Population are aging. We have death rate. We need to actually top up, and fertility rate in Singapore is too low. So what I can foresee is that although there's a slight delay in the processing, but ICA will still, try to actually approve 32,000 or maybe even more as well, okay, because we are still very far off from our target population. So the number of PR will not be reduced, right? Okay, so the next one, April asks, does one need a certificate of employment for each companies that we have been in our career? No. Okay, April, no, yeah. Okay, so for your information, certificate of employment is only for your current employers. So we need some information in it. We need to know your start date. Okay, we need to know your position. We need to know your salary breakdown, your FIN number, your name on it. Then it can use as a certificate of employment and need to be dated within 1 month from the submission. Okay. So yeah, I think
we have a question from Kevin. Sorry. I think there's a question from Kevin that says, is it true if I start a company in Singapore and hire Singaporeans, my chances are higher? So, okay, that's actually, yes, it will be considered as a value add to your application. Why? Because you are creating more job opportunities. Yeah, okay, you're creating job opportunities, you're increasing the employment rate of the locals, okay, and the government is always encouraging, entrepreneurs, investors, innovators to start businesses in Singapore. So yes, if you are a business owner with a company employing locals, right, this can be a very strong value add to your application. I believe
Elena, I think you're choppy again, Elena.
Okay.
Elena, I think you're choppy again. Yeah, am I right? If you can use the chat to actually let me know. Is Elena choppy from my side? Seems like she's quite choppy. Yeah. Okay, no problem. So let me see. Okay. So Kevin asked, do you do EP? What is the EP success rate? So Kevin, we do EP as well. Okay. For EP, right, we will need to evaluate your profile so that we know, we need to evaluate your profile because right now, right, for EP, right, actually it is not easy to approve, especially right now, right, not ICA, MOM, Ministry of Manpower has stopped approving EP. Okay, even if it's approved, if let's say you're working in a big company, even if it's approved, you still need to seek clearance from MOM to actually come in, and they are not approving the entry, and unless you are from essential services. Okay, so for EP success rate, we will need to see profile. It's case to case basis. We are also going to guide you on, in terms of your company, how much paid up capital is enough in order for you to be actually eligible to get an EP, because company profile is also very important when MOM come to evaluate your EP applications. Okay, so just now, I think Elena have already answered. Okay, Kevin, if let's say you want to start a company and hire Singaporean, of course your chances is higher because, okay, for your information, ICA evaluate employee and self-employed very differently. If let's say you're an employee, they only focus on your skill set, your professional achievement. But if let's say you're a business owner, you're a self-employed, ICA are going to look at your business. What's the potential growth of your company? How many locals are you going to hire? Okay, so we will guide you on how you can present all these information in your applications. Now, given the current COVID-19 situations, how do you see it impacting the outcome of PR applications? Okay, in the Q&A, I think just now I already answered. Okay, so only delay, you'll be expecting delay in the outcome, but we are still looking at 32,000 of approval. So for those, right, who's still holding on to their job, okay, you have to file the application, because what I can foresee also in next year, okay, what's going to happen is global corporation is going to restructure. There will be a lot of restructuring going on, because now people have desperately looking for technology to actually, improve the processes, because a lot of company are actually, having this labor crunch issue, right? So, next year, Elena, I've answered. Because it's the number, right, 32,000 has been preset by the government. It's only take a longer time, okay? So ICA will still evaluate your applications, okay? So next year, the global corporation are going down to manpower reduction. So for me, I always advise my client, if let's say you're still holding on to your job, it's best to file as soon as possible. Now, because of COVID-19, what about post-COVID-19? Will MOM still stop EP? No. Okay, this is only because of COVID-19. That's why they actually stopped approving EP, because they don't want import case. In fact, right, for those in principle approval of EP that you obtain during this COVID-19 period, automatically there's 2-month extension. Okay, so you do not have to apply for extension for the IPA. All right. Now, Willie asks, do you help with registering company in Singapore? Yes, we do. Okay, so you can actually arrange a consultation with us in order for us to actually, tell you more about how we can help you to bring your company to Singapore. Okay, I believe that I have answered all the questions. Okay, don't worry. Okay, if you have any other questions, okay, you can actually, go up to our website, okay, www.tip.com.sg. I hope that, a lot of you have been putting in your details to arrange for a one-to-one session, because the one-to-one session will give you more personalized solution, okay? We have come to the end of the sessions. All right, so sorry, I think I have one more question from April. In comparison versus last year, have the application been lower in the chat? The same or higher? Okay, so for your information, right, it's pretty interesting when we file the applications, okay? So there will be like a reference number generated. It always starts with EPR dash the year of application 2020 and the number. And the next application, the number will increase. Now, what we have seen that there's a drop and it's back up by all this data. If you take 100,000 applications per annum, every day, it should be about 250 to 270, okay, the increasing of the number. But however, we've seen that there's almost a 40% drop, April. So, it's a very good time. But even if it's a good time, you still have to, put in your best case, okay? So we have come to the end of the session. Sorry, the timer doesn't work. All right. So, like I mentioned to you, okay, feel free to reach out to us, okay? And you can actually send us an email as in the chat. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
guys,
for your
and sorry
time.
for the technical connectivity issues on my end, but I hope you guys have found the session informative and helpful. So we hope to see you around.
Thank you.
Okay, really ask if there's another question, another session. Yes, we do actually. So, okay, maybe you want to share our next session?
Our webinar is on a bi-weekly basis. So every 2 weeks there will be a session. So feel free, if you have any friends who is keen, okay, so you can check out our website. All the information is there. You will find our next event link to register for the next webinar as well. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Have an awesome Friday and a great weekend.